PK has a little look around our outside again. We are late on the brakes. Oh! Welcome to the 5th round of our Formula 1 season 1983 in Automobilista 2, where we are on a mission to get justice for Andrea de Cesares, and we're on a good way to do just that, having won the previous round at Montreal, and we're actually kind of in the championship fight all of a sudden. Today we return to Europe, where the British Grand Prix is taking place at Silverstone, the old, very high-speed version of it, where it could challenge Hockenheim and Monza in terms of average speeds. And unsurprisingly, it was another turbo-dominated race, with the naturally aspirated cars being hopelessly slower than their opposition. Only Lauda finished in the points here in real life of the non-turbo cars, while Prost took another win ahead of Nelson Piquet. De Cesares, for a change, actually finished that race, albeit a lap down in P8 behind his teammates. For our race here today, I aim to finish on the podium once more, to maybe just be able to keep our foot in the championship door, as we will have reached the halfway point of the season after today's race. And here is how we will be going into it. Once more, Ferrari lock out the front row with Prost behind him, as a strong Elio De Angelis in 4th, looking for first points for Lotus that season. We go into this race from P9, as on the rest of the grid you see Stefan Johansson not quite yet returning with Spirit Honda, who I mistakenly had on the grid in Rio, but only in Silverstone Spirit joined the season. So we have one extra race for Giacomelli, who will be replaced from the next race on at Germany. So he gets another one because I falsely didn't have him on the grid in Rio, but Johansson will replace him from the next race on, as we only have 24 spots in that class. But anyway, now, without further ado, let's go racing at Silverstone. Well, and here we are on the grid, halfway round the final corner, Woodcote, but the green lights are on, and again the two Brabhams with the poor start. We're already past one of them. And now, alongside Shiva and the second Brabham, we go into Copse, and we actually overtake all of them as we move up to P5 after only one corner. So this has gone pretty much perfectly. We couldn't have hoped for a better start, as through Beckett's now we go. The S is not really existing, it's just 3 corners. Maggots, which is flat out Beckett's, which is third gear corner, and then here Chapel out on the hanger straight, which is as it is today, as PK has a little look around our outside again. We are late on the brakes. Oh, but I half lose the car into stall. Oh, I even stall briefly. I have to restart it. Yeah, and once again we can get going. There is a double waved yellow now, but oh yeah, we've dropped down immensely, down to 20th. Just behind Jacques Lafitte in the number 2 Williams. Again, dreadful qualifying. Still hasn't scored. Oh, but there's Keke Rosberg, who is way down the order this time as well, so he must have had a poor start. As we stay ahead of him, and now he gets overtaken by Mauro Baldi, our teammate. As into the Woodcote chicane we go for the first time. This one has been installed a couple of years prior to slow down the cars. To create yet another somewhat braking zone. Not too many heavy braking zones on this track, as you can already see, and hopefully for lap 2 we can do a lap without a spin. And as you will find out, we pretty much don't need first and second gear here, unless we spin, of course. But I take all of the corners in third. Refs go a bit low here, but still. Yeah, we're absolutely fine, but we have to do recovery now, as we have dropped behind a lot of cars. Past Alboreto we go, but again wide into Stowe. Can Alboreto come back? No, we actually stay ahead, and here is our advantage, because there are a lot of non-turbos around us now, such as Lafitte, who tries to come back through Vale. But he has to stay behind. Poor exit there from Baldi. And then Cicotto in the theater, we pass him as well. Oh, we kind of run him on the grass. We run a bit wide. There goes Baldi through again. But yeah, what you were able to tell here is, again, the advantage of the turbo on a circuit like that. Yeah, I think we should have quite the quick recovery here. Yeah, you can see there, I don't quite dare to go side by side or to be late on the brakes after that mishap at Stowe that cost us all of these positions. If we can just wait for here, look at that. Sullivan, Sura and Boots had passed in one go on the Hangar Straight, as, yeah, we can just wait for the turbo to do its job. Yeah, it's a bit ridiculous, but it's actually, it was like that back in the day. If you didn't have a turbo, you had no chance on tracks like that. Yeah, so I guess that's quite realistic. Now, there was a bit of a gap now ahead of us, but we were closing that gap. And then, oh, there is a spin, there is a blockage, there's a lot of tire smoke as I go through one of those fences. Luckily, we don't have damage to our car, as yeah, I locked my tires trying to avoid that, and then yeah, they were kind of blocking the track, so I had to go through that. Didn't manage to avoid that, but yeah, let's of course look at the replay of what happened there. These are the two Tolmans of Giacomelli and Warwick. Giacomelli actually ahead of Warwick, and they are now on the run towards the chicane. Oh, great camera view, Automobilista, but we see the end of it. Oh, I think Warwick has taken his teammate out, and then it looks quite ridiculous now from the outside how we go through the fence there. But let's look at it from Lauda's perspective, and there you can see it. Yeah, I think Warwick runs into the back of his teammate and kind of unsettles him, and then fully turns him around. That's a lot of positions gained for us, and yeah, we're up to 8th already. And yeah, we gained another position because Alain Prost had a technical issue. He came into the pits. He's still going, but he's way down the order. So one of the top guys, the championship leader actually, unlikely to score any points, or at least a bigger amount of points. So big chances for Anu, me and Nelson Piquet, these three main competitors. But yeah, still, in 8th we wouldn't score, as yeah, they're only down to P6. We actually get points. But ahead of us, that yellow car is not one of the Renaults, it's actually Manfred Winkelhock, who we are catching up to. And let's see, maybe we have another battle on our hands in a couple of laps' time. It might be a bit more difficult because he has a BMW turbo engine. So, yeah, he might not be too powerless on the straights. But I think what you can see here is that he struggles in the corners with his ATS. Engine powerful and good, same as is in the Brabham. Oh, but we get a slipstream. Actually, the Alfa Romeo seems to be more powerful here. He kindly defends the inside into Stowe. He's trying to be later on the brakes. We have to take the outside line. Oh, bit of a correction there on the steering wheel. Oh, we just touch a bit of grass there at the exit, but we manage to pull ahead of Winkelhock. And now through Vale we go. And I think that is looking good towards Abbey. And I think we're pulling away from him. So, up to P7. And this is actually good news because Lauda was staying with us. He was much quicker in the corners, but he couldn't really attack as he was lacking power in his McLaren Ford on the many straights of this circuit. And again, we were catching up to someone, Patrick Tombay, who is the last car in the points, and he's just approaching some back markers. So, here things could get exciting as we're back in the fight for points. Actually, it's not Tombay, it's Cheever in the Renault who has the last point at the moment. As we're approaching one of the Ligiers, and just don't quite manage to get ahead of him into Woodcote. Oh, it might be a close call with Cops as well. He lets us by though, and now we can chase down Eddie Cheever. Oh, and look at that, now he got a bit held up there by, I think that's the Theodore again. Oh, someone locking up into the Woodcote chicane. Again, some parts flying, some debris there. I think, once again, they've taken out something. I think kind of these weird fences that they have there. Saw one flying again. This is a bit unfortunate. Now we managed to get past Cicotto. I think that Tyrrell had, that might have been the one that locked up. Cheever just managed to get by. Oh, we have to wait again. It's, oh, sorry, it's not a Ligier. It's not a Tyrrell. It's actually a Ligier. Am I going colorblind? Confusing blue and green. Well, past him we go now at Stowe. But yeah, I think that's an opportunity gone. We were very close there going into Woodcote. But then, yeah, we also got held up by the traffic, so you can be lucky, you can be unlucky. But I think now we should be clear of any traffic so far. I think the next car up the road, that's actually Elio De Angelis in his Lotus Renault, who's still in the points. Oh, and that's a poor exit from Cheever. And that is an easy pass ahead of Abbey. Thank you very much, Mr. Cheever. And I think, yet again, there is a back marker. Getting into the way of De Angelis, who gets a poor exit out of Woodcote. So here we got lucky with the traffic, and up to 5th already. Now he's under pressure from Cheever as well. Oh, he gets close to us. But we retain the position, and then past the arrows we go here as well. So we clear him without an issue. And we are in the points. And this is 1.5 laps later. Again, we were catching up to someone. First, let's get past the car that this time actually is a turtle. Unfortunate spot there, right at the apex of Abbey. Alboreto, that is. Oh, and again, yeah, I don't dare to be quite late on the brakes through Woodcote. I don't want to lose my race there. So very conservative there. And he stays ahead, but you were just able to see it. A bit of a glimpse of red now going through Cobbs, and yet again Alboreto not quite letting us through. I think now he's going out of the way. And we go past, but yeah, you can see there, glimpse of red just ahead. That is Patrick Tambay, who's currently in 4th. And we still have 9 laps, including this one, to catch up to him. So, let's see if we can manage that. And as we just went past Keke Rosberg, who is now a lap down, you can see already that we're gaining on Tambay. He lost a bit of time behind the Williams. But yeah, catching up is one thing, passing is an entirely different one, as they say. And rightfully so, they say. We can now really tell that this is a Ferrari just ahead. And we had an exciting battle with Tambay already that season at Ferrari's first of 2 home races in Imola, where he, on towards the run to the Rivazzas, round the outside, drifting, repassed us. Exciting move there from Tambay, only to then get passed into Tamburello. Let's see what we can do this time against the French Ferrari driver. Through Vale, they always struggle a bit. And again, we managed to move ahead. We have the outside through Abbey. Had to live there a bit, didn't dare to go flat out. Side by side into Woodcote, and probably, yeah, exactly, that's what happens. Again, I'm too early on the brakes. Now outbraking anyone for me into Woodcote. So we have to stay behind for at least this corner here. Now we get to run on the Ferrari down the inside into Maggots. Still side by side into Beckett's. Do I dare to be a bit later on the brakes here? Yes, I do, and I get the corner done ahead of the Ferrari. We move. Does he get another chance on the hanger straight? We get a good exit out of Forgot that corner's name. Abby? No. That quick left-hander there. I might have confused a couple of corners today. Chapel, not Abbey. I knew it was some sort of a religious housing thingy. But yeah, we managed to stay ahead of Tombay. And now, with 3 laps to go, we see yet another car appearing in our sights. And that actually is the Brabham of Riccardo Patrese. Patrese hasn't scored a point so far this season. Now, all of a sudden, he's running in a podium position. But we want to challenge him for that. It looks like once more the Brabham is losing a bit of power in the later stages of this race. I also felt like Tombay was lacking a bit of power. Again, reliability, a massive issue with these cars. One of the disadvantages of the turbos, actually, they were not as reliable as the naturally aspirated engines, which themselves, back in the day, weren't the most reliable ones. But at least they were more reliable than the turbos. There was also why, until 1983, although there were turbos around since I think 1978, turbo never won a championship. As I said, that changed in 1983, as I told you in the first episode of this series. Then it was Nelson Piquet with the Brabham BMW, the teammate of that guy that we're racing now. Oh, tried to be very early out of the final corner on the power, and then I went very close to the edge of the track, had to lift a bit, and again missing the apex there a bit, but we get the corner done. And now we're properly in the slipstream of the Brabham. It's an Italian duel for the final spot on the podium. Is it Patrese or is it the Cesaris? Would be the second podium in a row for us after winning sensationally in Montreal. We're lapping someone, that is Nigel Mansell, in the non-turbo Lotus side by side into Stowe. Patrese just holds on as we are briefly 3 wide there. Is there a chance down the inside into Vale? No. Patrese defends, but he might have compromised his exit. Yes, he does. There is an opening. The up and under works. Past Patrese we go with 1.5 laps to go. As we just enter the final sector of this very short and quick Silverstone configuration. Into the final corner. Patrese comes back at us again. But as it stands, we're on the podium. Third of only 14 cars in this race still. And we start the final lap of this race. And now it's just about not making any mistakes. We had an issue while defending from the Brabham on the opening lap. We have thrown away a 3rd place finish at Spa-Francorchamps. No 2nd place finish even. So it's not over till it's over. Especially with me, the master of the bottle at the wheel. But this time, past lap 1, everything has worked perfectly. Just as it has in Canada. And we are even on course to set a new personal best. And our current personal best is even the fastest lap of this race. That has worked really well, and I feel like I'm slowly getting the hang of that fully manual transmission with the 8 shifter and clutch. And now it's only Abbey and the Woodcut chicane to go. We even gained a bit on Patrese. Just the final corner. Don't take any risks. And then it will be another podium for the Cesaris and Alfa Romeo at Silverstone. We finish in P3. And here then are the point scorers of this race. Anu continues his streak of either winning or not finishing the race. Out of 5 races, he's won 3 and he did not finish at 2. So he's back to winning ways in his Ferrari. PK once more, the 3rd time this season, finishes in P2. And then 14 seconds down, we finish 3rd. Out of Patrese, he scores his first points of the season. Tombay then makes it a double point scoring race for Ferrari. And also De Angelis with his and Lotus' first points finish of the season. And this is how that result translates into the Drivers' Championship. René Arnoux retakes the championship lead and is now on 27 points. PK is also in second here. Prost then drops from first to third, and we're just 2 points behind him in fourth, but 10 points, so more than a race win now behind Arnaud. Going into the second half of the season, let's see if we can have anything to do with the title fight in the last 5 races. And then let's also look at the second page of the point scorers, where we now see Patrese in 10th with the 3 points he scored today, and also De Angelis enters in 12th with his 1 point he scored today. And then in the Constructors' Championship, Ferrari pull away from Renault once more, who had a very disappointing race. Both cars finished, but outside of the points. Prost only managed 10th after that early issue, and Shiva just outside the points in 7th. They are now equal on points with Brabham, with their first double points finish of the season. Alfa Romeo then with our 17 points in 4th. Still equal. Williams and McLaren battle for the best non-turbo team. And then on the second page we see Tolman with the 3 points that Warwick scored at Rio. And then Lotus Renault with De Angelis 1 point just ahead of the other Lotus, which counts as a single constructor because of the Ford engine. That's just the way it worked back in the day. So, that has been it with round 5, the British Grand Prix 1983. The next race will be my personal home race as we go racing at the Hockenheimring for the German Grand Prix. Subscribe to not miss that, leave a like if you did enjoy this video, and I hope to see you all the next time. Until then, goodbye.